everybody, and welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk, the space where we unpack topics, random topics, every week, where we just yap. Just cause. Today we are talking about executive function, or in simpler terms, how your brain manages organization, emotional control, all the mental health jibby jabba, and or in a way that you will understand a little bit better. If you don't, still, have you ever felt like 17 tabs are open in your brain and you can't figure out where the music is coming from? More than 17, more like 56. Have you ever had like 56 tabs open? Like there's been I hate to have a bunch of tabs open, the computers just run slow.
You think about your computer, like, sure, if you look at your phone, no. You got 109 tabs in your phone.
Yep. And if you're wondering who is speaking, it is none other than Kofi Jones,
Hi.
aka DJ the Doctor.
Just the doctor.
I'm supposed to I was told before. I knew that it was just a doctor. But
Just to get under my skin?
Yeah.
still gonna say DJ the Doctor.
Please don't. I hate that with all my heart.
Well, it's not my fault that you decided to be
I didn't
DJ.
decide. I actually am telling you that that's not what the name is.
You decided to be a DJ.
Okay, is
And
your
you decided to have a stage name, The Doctor. And, well, all of the DJs in Barbados are called DJ blah, blah, blah.
Are they?
Yes.
No.
Who says DJ's Just Jay? I can't even say that properly.
Everybody.
No one says DJ's Just Jay.
Everybody says DJ
No
Just
one
Jay.
says DJ Just Jay.
Everybody. I'm telling you.
You also don't you don't even often hear like DJ Chris Gill. It's just Chris Gill, Sheldon
But
Pop.
that's because
Actually,
Chris
funny
Gill.
enough, DJ Puffy dropped DJ eons ago and no one calls him DJ Puffy anymore.
I would say
I
his
still call him DJ.
yeah, his socials is still DJ Puffy. I will still give him that pass. But you also don't say photographer Leaky.
Leaky the photographer though.
You see that middle word there?
We treating y'all like you tried conquest. You saying the whole thing.
Yes.
Or the artist formerly known as Prince.
DJ the Doctor.
I will laugh, you know.
I mean, we already got
I got
clips.
close my line.
We already got clips. Are you talking? So at this
You
point,
can just use AI
I
now
can
to just
just-
write the episode.
I can yap for the rest of the time and just insert clips and be like, oh, Kofi was here. The doctor was here.
Oh, you see, you got it.
I know what it's supposed to be, but I just slip in every so often, like every 20 minutes.
Just to
like,
get under your whole
DJ
skin
the Doctor.
on a mental health podcast.
Yes, I'm supposed to teach people how to cope with things that they can't handle.
Throwing someone under the bus, is that cope? Genuine question. Is that like a positive way to cope with something?
Depends.
Because I feel like if I got arachnophobia, like, don't put me in a spider pit. I think that's just reasonable.
There are some times where exposure therapy is a good thing.
For sure. Not my name.
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see by the end of this.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Being on this side, by the way, is kind of strange. Like, watching you go through notes is like, damn, that's crazy. Like, what are we really about to talk about?
We are, like, we can just yap about, okay, so let me just put on a
It
note.
might be like other side Kofi instead of being the one that is doing the interviewing. And being,
Even then, I don't got that much notes.
yeah, because at least for you, it's come up with them. The same way you're unapologetically funny.
Thank you.
Wow. Am I being this secretly?
No.
This man not call you unfunny and boring.
You heard it.
Yeah,
You heard it.
like angry size for true.
You heard it. Because I like, wait. Why catches
That's your friend. That's crazy.
On my own podcast
Personally,
against
I will cuff you in your
Scribblers?
face.
Personally.
That's crazy.
If I was you, but I don't know, you built different, I guess.
Wow.
Not be me, boy. Cannot be me.
So we're just gonna let that slide until after.
I see why you're a therapist. Like, you can handle a lot.
I'm saying. You hear a little one too?
Somebody might be getting fired by the end of this. Never know.
Not after the cuff.
The reason why I have so many notes, and this literally fits into executive functioning. I'm a perfectionist. Bad. Don't be a perfectionist, guys. I'm a perfectionist, and also my concentration is awful. You can keep talking for like 20 minutes. I will not be in my head. I'll just be in a world away, and we have many clips of me just while they're yapping, and I'm the face. So you just hear them talking, and I'm like,
Just waving.
yep. Right.
Do you feel the need sometimes to like remind yourself, yo, be present?
Yes, because I actually can't. Like, I can't do it by myself. So I have to do notes. And Andre has to steer me sometimes when I'm ready to be over the podcast because I have no more social battery. And I'm like, can we stop talking now? And then he'll ask more questions and I'll just give him a look like, can you
And you
shut
just gotta
up?
know, like, yeah, done with that.
But then he just keep going, and then I just gotta sit there. But yeah, so how do you struggle with executive function?
I struggle with it by struggling with it. I don't I don't know if I have a solution. I know there are things I do that seem to have gotten me thus far in life. Little things like and there's nothing that I'm perfect at, by the way. I think I am very bad at all the things I'm about to mention.
Okay.
Like I keep notes. I'm teasing you, right? But if I like pull up my Google Keep, everything, every thought, I have a like my pinned note is called Incredible Thoughts. These are the really good thoughts. I have a note that tells me what to watch on TV. Cause I just sometimes like, what do I watch? What do I genuinely like, sometimes just forget. Yo, what I like, and then I could check and see. Okay, cool. Anything. What even are half of these? Right. And another thing too is I don't know how to. I kind of have a thing for sitting up. I know a lot of people think that you could lay down and think. You can't. You can't properly be in a relaxed state and actively thinking. Something as simple as like if you sparking an idea, your brain feel like it working and you feeling creative. Sit up. Just sit down and let it think. Like don't let anything happen. Like just don't be pensive laying down. Don't be sad laying down. Like try to be horizontal for sex and sleep, and anything else at least sit down.
Bars.
This is definitely calling me out because I spend most of my life horizontal.
Just sit down, and I don't know. It makes the world of difference. The world of difference. Other than that, I don't. I don't feel like I be handling things. I am very shocked that I've reached this age. That is true. I don't know how I've reached this age independently. Like sometimes I just look back and be like, yo, I got a car. I'm alone on the road. That's crazy.
I don't know how I'm an adult. I don't think I'm an adult actually. I think I'm a child, just in an adult body forced to do adult things.
I don't know if you're gonna ever, if anyone ever feels like an adult.
I feel like people do, and they make adult decisions, and they're like doing things.
What are adult decisions? I get tissue, please. I hear it. I don't know. You know, me, my hands.
He's nervous, guys.
Really. I haven't done something like this in so long.
It's because I'm the one that's like grilling him, and he's not in control. Ha 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 ha.
That's interesting because I don't think that's what. Thank you. I don't think that's what it is.
I was just talking crap.
No, but it is an interesting thing to the control aspect though, because I think like even that even plays back into executive function because when it's my own things I have to work on and it's like everything's within my control, that's where the issues are like. I could work for somebody so easily. You could send me something and be like, yeah, do this, and they would do it, and they would finish it, and then the things that I have on the back burner are my own personal projects.
I just feel like everything.
You just what?
I just feel like everything then. No, I can't do either. I can't work for somebody, and working for myself, I struggle. That's just me being negative. Andre will just give me a look.
But aren't
to
you
not be negative?
aren't you doing a service for people by even something as simple as this?
I guess.
All right.
This is a
if
part
you
where
ain't
I'm
sure,
like,
I ain't sure.
I don't know how I get through either because to me, so I'll give the example of I don't think that I'm smart. Like I think, yeah, I went to school and I learned things and I did things and somehow came up with certificates and degrees for things. But then I sit down and I go, I don't know things. Like I just see people talking about things. Like they could sit down and talk about Germany, Russia,
Rustra.
dictators. Andre loves to talk about dictators.
Mm.
They could talk about dictators and wars and things like that, right? That's just a random example. And I would just be like, that's cool. How did you learn that? I surely don't know anything about that. And it happens with, I feel like every single topic. Maybe I'm just around people that are too
I
smart.
think you are measuring. Why is smart to you though? Because to me,
Knowledge.
even in that little blurb, okay, well there you go. Because in that little blurb, I will consider you smart. You definitely are more educated than me. You just said you left school with certificates, degrees, like
Masters.
those are qualities of I guess being smart.
Yeah, but then, okay, so even with psychology. So finding this niche, I'm talking about psychology stuff. There's a person that actually reached out to me to read their research paper, and I looked at it and I went, why would I read somebody's research paper? I don't understand any of the words that you're trying to get me to understand with this research paper, blah, 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 blah. I feel like if I'm not smart at psychology, I feel like if I somehow finesse people to give me this degree and I didn't actually learn anything, I feel that about like all schools.
I feel that way about everything I do. I think that that's just a regular feeling because you're comparing your intelligence is always growing. Like you said, you measure being smart by knowledge. You learn every day. You could gain you could gain knowledge from just the most basic experience. So that's growing every day. That's getting bigger and bigger. But you are the same person. So you are not necessarily acknowledging, okay, well, cool, I actually gained 3 knowledge points today. You know, it's not an RPG. You don't have like stats in front of you, so you can't really.
Life did, honestly.
I do. I really need to know like what you really got going on, so I can know where to improve. Anyways, so like if you keep looking at it from an aspect of, okay, well these other people know these things that I don't. That means I don't see. Wait, ain't really the case. It's just they have their pool of knowledge. You have your pool of knowledge. You can't really say, okay, this person's pool's bigger because they know something I don't. Suppose that's the only thing them know.
Fair.
All this man knows Vladimir, and you don't know Vladimir, so he's smarter than you. That don't really add up.
It doesn't.
You should be fairer to yourself and say you wish you knew more rather than you don't think you're smart.
Bars.
Anyways, this is the INO podcast information.
Ah, so let's take a brief second to talk about what you do.
Oh,
Who are you? In case people don't know.
abandoned as a pup, I was found by a woman named Muriel in the middle of nowhere with her husband.
The
Used
sheer
this
fact that like 2 episodes ago we was talking about courage and courage dog.
Yes.
This is too much for me.
There's a talk cartoon.
Leave me alone with courage.
I always find it difficult to answer that question because I feel like I don't want to say multifaceted person, but I think everyone's multifaceted. But yeah, because there's a lot of different angles people know me from. What I like to say from my career standpoint is I'm a multimedia consultant. So what that means is I usually do consult work under various branches in media. So I do photography. I do photography for Starcom and their socials, the Associated Press. Right, that's it. Videography, I edit for a YouTube multi-channel network called Black Shore. I also do some work for
Would you
Starcom.
like to edit for us?
No.
Because we're going to be in
I said no.
At work. I heard the no,
Mm-mm.
and I still kept talking.
I'm cutting you out. Like, don't stop that thought.
Damn crazy.
I mean, I would point to our editors. I would gladly point anyone to our editors.
Jared
I just,
has it right there.
yeah, I feel like Jared good.
He is. I
Um,
was just trying to get Jared some help
mm-mm.
because
No,
we're
I'm
about
not
to
doing it.
take on roles of 2 more shows
No, good luck.
on our channel, and right now is me struggle busing to help him because Andre is just a pretty face.
That's off camera.
Yeah, I got face, but radio.
He says to the DJ.
Speaking of, I DJ on Hot 95.3. I have a couple of radio shows a week on Fridays and Sundays. You would think that I would think that this is like a question to ask, right? I have no idea how to answer this question.
You answering it?
I know I'm forgetting things.
I feel like you struggle with this
every time, and I don't have like a stock. I am now a digital creator at Red Marketing, so I work with social
How do you do
various.
so many things. Like,
And you don't ask me to edit.
I was talking about the editing, but like, wow.
I rent soul systems.
I struggle with the executive management. Like,
Yeah.
How do you?
But I think this is cut. I think this place.
Oh my goodness, 56 tabs are open.
Well, if you ever wondered how I just manage mentally, I just watch it. Like, he just be like, oh, I struggle. I just be like, nigga, how? You just add muscle me. I wanted to be like, I understand my plate.
That's I think I really do that. I have like a lot of open projects that are personal projects, and I really do be struggling sometimes.
Definition of failing successfully.
I don't think I'm failing though. Like, I do understand a lot of people fail up. Like a lot of people actively do shitty work, and because their shitty work is seen, it puts them on a pedestal to continue to do shitty work, and it kind of like creates its own niche.
Yeah.
To me, that's failing successfully. I doing too much.
You are.
And it's more a case like I want to delegate people to do these things, but I don't have the capital to do that for everything in the world. So, for example, last week I started a series. Hope by the time this come out, I should go outside.
Hopefully.
Skill City or Open Heating. It's called the Small Party Series, where we're trying to create like more intimate party experiences in Barbados. So we did the first one last week at the High Order Kings Bar. I still have to mention anything else that I have a talk show on radio called Hot After Dark. Because of Keen, if it wasn't for Keen, we wouldn't have had that show this week. So it's little things like that where I, you realize you're doing too much. So I guess I try to. I can ask for help. One thing about me, I can ask for help. I think a lot of people like think that when you complaining is a negative thing. No, I just acknowledging. Yeah, I put myself in a shitty position. Hey, sorry again. If you're interested, can you help me get out of this shitty position? You ain't forced to, but you could help. And in the majority of cases, people are actually like really interested in whatever idea is and really, really want to help.
That, what you just said, actually makes me think of how his fail successfully is. When I am under immense pressure, I produce great work. I fail successfully at, I have procrastinated everything until 24 hours before the deadline, and I am in Potter, and I am sitting there having panic attacks, being like, I'm going to die right now. And then, bleh, something happens, and then
right, but that I can't call that failure. To me,
I failed to prepare. I failed to take care of myself. I failed to just.
Well, call blank is a failure.
Don't say that, like Jesus.
But I just don't think. Is that failing
the end result is positive, but
the preparation was sucky.
Going through
is
every
it?
motion is just feel like, and it's not going good, and then all of a sudden, your own actual ability makes it work. So it's not that you are a failure. You are very good at what you do, but going through all the motions, it's just.
I do see and I acknowledge your points. I just don't know if is that failure.
Maybe
if my goal was to
it as
right, because to me, if my goal is to hypothetically create a documentary video, and this turned into a 48-hour film project, it didn't have to be that. I did not have to put myself through that much pressure. I achieved my goal though. It wasn't the easiest way, but I still achieved it. Yeah, I neglected myself. I must eat for 2 days, or and sleep for 2 days. That's not very kind to myself. But I didn't fail at the goal. So my goal wasn't to take care of myself. You get me? Like, if that was a goal, then yeah, I failed. But that's not really the vibe. The vibe was more, yeah, I actually got to do this thing.
So failure for you is not completing a goal?
Absolutely. Genuinely asking, isn't that what failure is?
You see, right? I feel like I'm a failure in general, and I have so many successful things, but I still feel like a failure.
I don't like that. I don't.
We already discussed that. I'm hard on myself, and I need to stop doing that. But to me, so like I feel like we all have different definitions of what failure is.
Everything want you to Google so bad. You would not take it that iPad.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing my job properly.
No, you are doing your job great. I just like let me get to the bottom of this. Let me not speculate.
Okay.
So for the audio listeners, she's opening.
Which brings.
I trying to see the number.
Jared, we need to be on Spotify. Do better.
Yeesh.
It's just we are too.
So this is ASMR with iPad. We are now searching Google.com. She got real tabs open for you.
I do have. That's why they want open it.
Everybody pull out their devices and see.
Nah, we don't. I literally have 400 playtimes open on.
Let me all.
I close mine sometimes, and I probably actually something.
Max is a 405.
Me trying to say a sentence and all the boys are just talking. This is the life I live, guys. No one lets me speak here.
Okay,
I can be real. I did not even hear your voice.
Exactly. And that's why in the last episode, Duran was just going, he's the host. He will have to be the host.
What end episode? He's the host.
Because Andre wouldn't stop talking. He's supposed to talk. He's supposed to have a
Yeah, he got a microphone in his hand. It is a little big.
They all have microphones.
No.
I was.
Wait
a minute, Dom.
I heard
I
her
was
that
gonna
time.
say you could cut out me yelling at you. Don't bother. Leave it in. Leave it.
You can cut my ass too.
She can tell you just so that she can fire you.
You understand?
Failure is the lack of success.
Boo! That's the worst definition of anything ever.
The-
Success is the lack of failure.
Tell me. This is the one that told me to Google it.
But I would.
I mean, the omission of expected or required actions. I don't understand what that one means.
What?
It just keeps saying lack of success or inability.
All right, so
to
okay,
meet an
we're all correct
expectation.
apparently, but that was very disappointing.
You wanted me to be wrong?
No, I actually no. I wanted you to have some merit to what you were saying. Okay.
You wanted to be more correct.
I didn't. I love being wrong because that way, okay, cool. I got something to change. I got something that I could fix.
Okay, this one is a fail. I hate when when definitions has got a word in it. Can you not? A fail.
It's sounding Lord's voice.
Failing to perform a duty or expected action. Example is failure to pay rent on time.
Right. That to me, that's more akin to what I'm thinking. Because if the expected action is, I gonna. What was the example I used earlier? I gonna produce a documentary, and then I don't do it, then that's failure. But if I do, even if I do a shitty documentary, I still actually succeeded at the goal.
Oh, okay. So like failing successfully is, I wanted to produce a documentary. I went about trying to produce a documentary on cats, and then all of a sudden,
Okay.
a dog ran across the
Right.
road, and I get distracted because of my own inability to just focus, and I made an amazing documentary about dogs.
Right. Okay.
So,
I definitely could agree with that. I think that's an example of feeling successful.
So the goal was still achieved of a documentary, but what the premise was supposed to be about didn't happen, but it still worked out good.
Right.
You know what? I think that's what I do. I think so. Like every time I had to write an essay for UE, I think that's how it started. Like I started with one topic idea, and then in my panic, it just ended up as something else, and I was like, "Oh, look at that!"
isn't that just the benefit of like proper research? Because let's say for example I wanted to, this is a
I
joke.
like that you think I did research.
You don't even, you probably don't know you did. I remember, like, knowledge comes from
Yeah.
everywhere. You could just be about in the world thinking, and because you have this thing on your mind, you're going to observe it from other people, and that is research. That is a survey.
Fair,
Very small populace, but that's a survey.
Okay, fair enough.
Be kind to yourself, please. I can't remember what I said because you're being real mean to you.
I'm not usually called out.
No one understands like when they talk to this man is gonna get this and be like, it's doing shit.
I am not usually called out on
You could
bad
do
things.
I'm sorry. I feel bad though.
I just tell you about self-love all the time.
Right, I don't know. I just they had a period of time in my life where I was mad down, and a friend of mine just told me like just use better words, and just using better words to describe a scenario just makes you realize, oh, I'm not like a failure. I'm not a terrible person. This is actually what it is. Terry Crews also said that.
I think I'm too stubborn because I would just stop talking. And that silence is exactly what I was going for.
I mean, it's your podcast. If you done talk, I got all to kill.
I'm kidding.
Okay. I can't remember what it was I was gonna say, to be honest. I really don't. What was the context?
Terry Crews.
Nope, it was before Terry Crews.
I'm the worst person to ask.
It was before being kind to yourself. It was right before that.
I'm having 3 conversations.
It was about her research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we was past that.
Bah.
It was, you were saying when you're doing research for UE. And right, isn't that a benefit of research? I am so proud of myself for catching about. Isn't that thank you. You should applause. Isn't that a benefit of research when you realize that your thoughts are leading to another topic? Meaning the second thing, there's a really good quote on this, but it's not coming to mind now. But the thing you think about when you're working is what you should do. So when you start on this topic, but then you realize, hey, I actually more passionate and I actually more about this other thing. This other thing coming to me easier. It's not that you've changed your mind, you're doing something else. You kind of just working on what you truly want to work on. And I guess that we could, just to bring it back home, that ties back into this executive function, because sometimes, your mind wanders. I think more creative people would, I kind of don't like using that word because I think everybody creative in their own right, but more traditionally creative people. You don't think so?
No. I think
Fight me
people
on it.
have their niches.
Sorry, hold on a minute. Fight me on it.
I think people have their niches, and that's just so like. Andre's not a creative person. He's a natural sciences person, right?
I know that.
Oh my gosh, let me finish my thought before you attack me. Damn.
Am I defending his friend V?
This because of the last conversation that we had about natural sciences, and the two of them was going on and on and on about mathematics. And in that, I was like, I don't fit in here.
Is
This
math
is
a
not-
natural science? Okay, just checking.
I would have never been able to answer that. I don't know what math is. I don't know what things are.
Who's this?
Engineering is. I just meant subjects.
Oh, you're just joking, man.
Like, Andre's an engineer. He, which is crazy to me. He can draw on, what's the thing called? AutoCAD. But I drew a picture of myself. We're not going to insert it. I drew a picture of myself. And Andre says that he's not an artist, that he can't draw, paint things. Oh, I've tried to paint with Andre. It was.
So I'm not good at traditional
Right.
creativity.
But that doesn't mean I was actually just waiting until you finish. I think
and
you're not finished.
I'm not.
I really thought you were. Apologies.
That's nothing against you. I just get my point out slowly. And
Your pause is kind of pregnant, so it's like making me think, yeah, she done talk.
I think we're trying to label things what they're not to make people feel more included.
I love that you said that. That makes me think. I still think you're wrong, but not wrong. I still disagree with your point, but that is a very good point because that is something that happens a lot. but I can't deny that engineers need some semblance of creativity, no matter what sort of engineer you are. Because engineering kind of real broad, but I feel like you need, in most instances, like yeah, you need to know the back end of the science and how things work. But to accomplish your goals, you need to come up with creative ways to make things happen. Like logistics is a very creative field. Like just to make things work, you need to have like a creative mindset. There is no other word. You need to have a creative mindset in order to be resourceful enough to figure out how can I make this happen with the tools in front of me. I think people think creativity is just like drawing or painting or dancing or something usually artistic. But to me, having being MacGyver is a creative man. Having a I don't know, a cell phone case and a garbage can and making a bomb, that is incredible. I can't do that. I'm not able to make these things with these resources. And I think that people tend to overlook that aspect of creativity because the way an artist paints is an empty canvas and using nothing but the colors in front of him, able to make a masterpiece. Is the same thing as an architect saying, I'm going to make a really tall building using just the physics that we know today. That to me is equally is a stretch. That to me is also very incredible.
So this is actually one you believe it or not, this line of reasoning kind of falls back to before he started this sort of stuff. So I was like the person true and true. I would tell you straight up, I can draw. I did not think about there was anything creative about my job. It was ones and zeros. I think up until there was a point where my first major problem with like a database I solved with completely irrational thought. And then it was like, if I use outside the box thinking for logical problems, do I get the same result as what people like? So for example, if you got a printer not working, you got to follow these steps. Guaranteed everything to fix the printer.
So the question is, problem solving is creativity?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
I don't understand how it couldn't be.
Like, I give you a good example. Yesterday, we didn't have all the gear we didn't want. I had a handful of gear that
Right, yeah, that's actually a good example.
We was done probably like 4 different things that we normally use.
I left home like my cable bag. So we didn't have the cables. And just using what was around us, Jared was able to make the setup work. To me, by the way, like this thought process came because I didn't think I was creative. I just was always in a position where I couldn't afford something or I just wanted to try something. It was never a place of I have nothing in front of me. I want to make something. Like I got into DJing because I went out and I was like I probably could do that, and I tried it and it was bad, but then I tried again and again and again and with practice I got better. And I didn't try. I didn't like I went home and I opened my $1,000 computer. I went home and I downloaded Virtual DJ, and I struggled until I was able to using resources in front of me, friends, able to use Serato, and again that spiral and spiral and spiral. You want to hear a joke? I don't own a camera. I just name all these places I've been working at for years. I do not own a camera. So like if you you need $100 right now, you are able to I don't know, sweet. That's a bad example. You don't own a broom though. You ain't gonna borrow a broom? That is to me is being you are looking at your resources and you making something out of it. At the end of the day, you still creating.
The reason why I'm silent is because my brain is just the gears are turning.
Mm.
Because this then takes us to language and words and the breakdown of words. And if problem solving equals creativity, I can label everybody as creative. I can say everybody's an artist.
Everybody is an artist. But before you even say that, not that problem solving equals creativity, but problem solving is creative.
Okay, so then diagram.
That right as yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, you
It's
ready?
a form of creativity.
So like, for example, what you're doing here, for example, like realistically, if you were to look at this, how other people do it, for example, because for me, it's streamer first. So for me, everything's first sentence around the computer. Other men can do a podcast and only got a camera, a mixer, and send record from the mixer, which is a lot less. But it's a matter of how you view the problem that you're going to solve and how you attack it.
Right, because everybody ain't gonna solve the same problem the same way, and that's kind of where the creativity comes in. Really and truly, a jank setup that works is more creative than an expensive setup. Being able to get the same output with $300 versus $3,000, you need some level of creativity.
So basically, creativity is imagination, and within that diagram, a Venn diagram, it got problem solving, it got the arts, it got other stuff within that.
I would say so. I like that you brought imagination, because that word was slipping me for so long. But yeah, like when you have a problem, you kind of got to imagine how to solve it. You might just use, well, it is reasoning, but that's still like using your imagination, because the things you're using to solve the problem aren't physically there.
So Elmo and Ernie were correct.
With what?
Imagination.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like, I think Sesame Street was on the ball when it came to like telling people to just think. We could talk about this forever, because it was not gonna spur into a completely different.
That being said, is executive functioning a bad thing or a good thing if we take into consider what we just talked about, creativity? If I have 5 million tabs open, I'm running a little bit slower, but I still get things done. Like, I might procrastinate, but at the end of the day, I either fail successfully or I just, successfully do something. Like, is the executive functioning thing a bad thing? I mean, you got the end result that you wanted, just not the processing that you wanted. I mean, obviously there are going to be cases where executive functioning stops you completely from functioning, and therefore you will just end up failing, with the definition of failure.
Right.
And it won't be good for you. But what about those people who struggle with executive functioning? And we survive it. We do it what we're supposed to be doing. We just
Are we
struggling along the way.
You were saying, I like that you just said we doing what we supposed to be doing. What we supposed to be doing?
No.
If you know, please tell me.
Just breathing in air. Like, my favorite thing that I want to get tattooed, but I will probably never get it tattooed, is 1 second at a time. Second by a second. We're just supposed to be taking in the air and living that second however we can, at whatever point that we're at. Like, and especially for people who struggle with mood disorders and people who struggle with addiction, they usually say like 1 breath at a time, or 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. So like 1 hour at a time. No, 1 day at a time if you can't handle a day. 1 hour at a time if you can't handle an hour. 1 minute at a time if you can't handle a minute. 1 second at a time. Like, each second you just live. So you just successfully live that second. No matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it is, you've successfully gone through that second, and the next second, and the next second. So we're just making the most of the short amount of time that we have. So living and life isn't about the big picture of I accomplished so much and I did everything so great, because we don't always get 100 years. We sometimes die early. So it's not about, we lived to 100 years, or we had the most degrees, or we had the most friends, or we had the most money. It's just about making the most of the time that you had. So every second, did you live it to the best that you could possibly live it? Were you the best version of yourself? And if you weren't the best version of yourself for one of those seconds, did you change? Did you adapt? Did you do better? And that's why I feel like, even if you're religious or not religious, like, when you get to the end, like, whatever you believe in, like, looking back at whatever happens in the afterlife, your universal experience of, did I do what I could do? I don't have to be remembered by anybody, but did I make a little print in the sand of life?
So I just found it, you saying in the middle you don't want to make it religious, but ending off with footprints in the sand.
That was awesome.
That I pick it. That's so sporty.
It was 100% awesome.
That's a very beautiful answer. That we're supposed to live. I have no rebuttals to that. Before you said that, To me, I was gonna do that little thing when it's doobie. I forget that that's what I was gonna do. Halfway through, I was like,
Too many tabs open.
damn. That would have been a good moment. I often think that like the things I want to do are the things that in my head that I'm not doing that kind of like killing me that I ain't getting them do. That's also just kind of in my head.
Maybe you're not supposed
But
to. Do
I don't believe in destiny, so it's not you hitting that destiny.
It's not a destiny thing.
I mean,
It's just
I'm still not supposed to.
like why are you supposed to do it?
Because I want to do it.
No, wanting and supposed to is not the same thing.
Then what am I
want
doing?
To do it. I don't need to do it. What is supposed to? Am I supposed to?
What
breathe?
okay, what am I
And
doing?
then-
What am I doing if I'm not doing my want? If I'm not meeting my wants? It's just me. I ain't got a chick or a child. I'm not meeting my wants. What are you doing?
You can't get everything that you want.
For sure. Not everything. But I know what I can realistically achieve. And if I if I cannot achieve the things that I know I can realistically achieve, then what am I doing?
Trying your best.
For sure. And I think that's where the executive dysfunction comes in now, because I could my best on any given day. My best might be laying down on the couch blank, rotting.
And for that day, that's what you were supposed to do.
But no, let somebody say, "Hey, Kofi man, I need 2 speakers for 12 o'clock," and they could get up. That's a problem.
If you can't get up, then that was not what you were supposed to be doing.
If the thing that is crippling me from doing something for me is me, I don't think that's right. Because if I doing something for you, I could do very good. But from the time I gotta take care, you want to know something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way to keep my space tidy, like for me to clean, just tell me you can.
Same.
Just worse yet, stand up there. Stand up there, don't say a word. I can get my whole place clean one time. But I have issues doing that for myself. That's something that I should do for me.
I don't see it that way, especially as somebody who struggles. It's not that I had the energy to do it and that's why I'm doing it now. I am putting pressure on myself because of the expectations of other people and the judgment of other people, and that's what's giving me this energy. So we talked about spoon theory and how
Did we?
Couple episodes ago.
Oh, I hate like there's no way that happened today.
So we know who doesn't watch the podcast.
Girl,
Crazy work.
I ain't gonna read over, but I've watched this. I've seen a couple
Subscribe.
episodes.
Subscribe. So
I
that you're
apologize.
not like Kofi.
I apologize
And
here,
you
guys.
actually know what's going on. So when I reference it, you know what I'm talking
I definitely ain't watching this one. I can tell you that. No.
You don't like to hear your voice?
No.
And I have to do it every single week.
Same.
So, we talked about spoon theory. I'm going to tell you what it is. Right
I
now.
wasn't gonna
gonna
ask.
tell you
I was gonna
anyway
Google real quick.
before you said, did we? I was
You
gonna
can't
say
open
it.
a sentence telling me what I do,
I was
and then
gonna
afraid that vexed that I question me.
I was going to say it again. Regardless.
Sorry.
So, for people who, you know, have 56 tabs open, sometimes you're not in the tab that you're supposed to be in when the other person is talking. So sometimes I just repeat things just in case. The people don't do it for me, but I do it for them.
This is spoon theory.
No,
Oh.
this is me just talking.
What's it got to do with the spoon?
You know what?
I'm genuinely trying to
You know
understand
what?
that.
I'm telling you why I was going to say it.
Okay,
regardless of you not.
Right,
knowing
I
what
know, understand what we're talking about.
This is such a chaotic.
Remember when you said that you zone out sometimes, right? Give me a little grace, no?
I
Give me a little
literally-
ease, bro.
I was literally explaining why I would
Lordy.
explain it because people zone out sometimes. So even if we had talked about it before, I would have just assumed that you had zoned out and I would have said it again. That's what that explanation was. Now, spoon theory, because we're going down a rabbit hole. It's dark here. I would like sunlight, please. So, spoon theory. You're given a certain amount of spoons every single day. You only have, so for people who are superhuman, they're not superhuman, they just have regular functioning. You can take 1 spoon to complete a task. Cool. if you don't function normally, like you have an illness, chronic illness, physical illness, whatever illness, sometimes it will take 5 spoons to complete one task. So for showering, for you it might take 1 spoon, but for me it will take 5 because I have to break down taking off my clothes, getting in the shower, turning on the water, standing up there.
It's because you musty.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
So I've expended more mental spoons than you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me a lot more, right? Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
If we're thinking about... I've lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
I can get there. I'm gonna get there.
You were talking about spoon theory. One spoon for me showering, you know, like you just need 1 spoon to shower. But you only bathe like once every 2 days, so you need 5 spoons.
Right. That actually did help though.
That's crazy.
So it takes more for me to do things. I can borrow from another day, right?
Mm-hmm.
To clean up this room because you are standing right there, and I don't want the judgment, and I don't want any of the pressure of like feeling like you're judging me for not being able to function how you function. Technically, what I'm doing is borrowing from another day, and I will crash even harder on that day in the future because eventually I'm gonna run out of spoons. Even if I try to keep borrowing, like my body will burn out and it will stop functioning. So in that day, I didn't have enough spoons to clean. It wasn't that I was doing it for somebody else and not doing it for myself. I did not actually have the energy, but because of the pressure, because of the judgment, I borrowed spoons from another point in time in the future, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna use these reserve spoons or these future spoons so that I can get this done, so that I can avoid the judgment, I can avoid everything, and then I can crash out later when you're not there, when you can't see that I'm struggling.
Is it that? I mean, I do, as the clean example, yeah, for sure, it could be judgment from peers, but I don't know if that's always the case because I could take that example and kind of change it to say, if I am like depressed, I'm not eating properly, but I have a pet, I'm gonna feed the pet, and usually, as a result, I'm gonna feed myself. I don't think that El Gato the cat can judge me. I feed in the cat, I can might as well eat. That's kind of the thing. So I'm thinking like, all right, well, I can might as well clean. To me, it's more like I don't know what it is, which makes it difficult to talk about. But there is some force that makes it a little easier when actually the pressure comes from me. I think the pressure and judgment comes from myself, and that's what makes it difficult to complete a task. Mm-hmm. Because it's difficult to do something to my standard. I picked up a while ago that I stopped. I don't post as much to like Instagram because the things that I think worthy to be posted, I don't really create, which is dumb because I see people post things and they got feet prints on the wall, and it's like you see that footprint, you see that dirty mirror, but these things don't really matter. It's a picture. Like no one cares, and no one should care. I don't really care if you have a footprint on your wall. It's a wall.
You do care. You judging them so hard.
That's the thing. I really do not care. If somebody send me,
you cared if it was your standard.
I care if it was me. But I don't really care if you don't live to my standard. I'm actually happy that you feel good enough to post this. I'm actually going to look at what you want me to look at.
Insert perfectionist Kofi here.
I mean,
I don't view myself as a perfectionist. It's more a certain standard.
No. Let me take back.
Nah, that standard might just be better than what some people doing.
No. Remember we talked with Jaden?
Go on.
We was talking about the fact that each of us live with different standards when it comes to certain things. We was talking, we see things, but you don't post a lot. We start posting every day.
That's not, by the way, but that'll call I get charged. But yeah.
Right. Well, like for me, for example, I start streaming because I can put out the content I want to put out. Same thing. Like my standard for streaming is it gotta look a certain way. I gotta be able to mix between scenes a certain way. Everything must follow a particular flow. And if I can't hit that particular flow, why can't I label you first place for it?
Right.
And a different, it's not like perfectionism to you, like to some boy from the outside outside looking in, you giving obvious perfectionism, but reality is perfectionism from yourself. Like your standard is your ideal view of perfection.
You was not checking with the definition of perfectionism, ways.
Nah.
Really? Damn.
That's your ideal of perfectionism. Like whole my ideal of perfectionism is that when everyone be like, nah, dog, just take the life. You don't go care about all these little things.
You should. But that's all I say. I'm sorry. I just feel like you should. But that's not. Is that?
Yes.
Look, if I play cricket at an international level, and one day my batting average is 3, I am not batting properly. I do not deserve to be batting at an international level.
I do not deserve. That's where the perfectionism comes in.
I feel like anybody would agree. Like
About deserve?
with a batting average of 3. Why are you on my team?
But some days you have bad
People have bad days.
Agreed. These are consecutive bad days.
Is your worth no pasted on? I had a bad streak. I'm not fitting this perfectionist standard.
Let me not use perfectionist for him. Let me show him.
I genuinely understand what y'all say. Like I know it might seem like I'm harping on the word perfection, but I'm not harping on perfection. I just think that
therefore I'm not good enough to do.
All right, I'm sorry. This example will make sense in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds. Post this to Instagram.
No.
Okay, why not?
One. It's not on that.
Why not?
Just because I don't like posting to Instagram.
That is not the
it
reason.
Got nothing to do with me.
Is this a decent photo?
No, but like.
So why post it if I know it's not good enough?
Okay, you want me to be like, oh, I'm not my prettiest. My hair looks done.
You heard it real good. I was gonna wait till afterwards. Like when we was talking about Spoon Theory, I was like, yo, that's weird. I genuinely was like, why is it shiny, B? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
When
at the end of the
I would be like, yeah, sure.
but there's no reason to post it.
But it's on my story.
Why?
Just to be like, hi guys.
But you could wait until there's something that is, and I'm not trying to like derail anybody because
we will literally wait forever.
I'm aware.
Because I never if I go with my standard, I will never post a picture ever.
Right, that's kind of where I am. I just want.
That's perfectionism.
I when I'm using that word, and it's like, yo.
But that's
But
what
no,
it is.
all right. But you gotta realize, I also was like, it can't be perfectionism. I got standards to uphold, and then suppose it's like.
It's not about your standard being too high. It's not about your standard being too low. It is literally like, if you don't meet that, you will not do it.
I also don't even think my standards be high. So I think that that's. Giant face. I wish there was a camera on there. I don't think my standard is high. I think my standard is like
I feel like
usually industry standard, and I just try to meet industry standard. And I could. You said earlier, I remember putting an asterisk in it. If I verbally said asterisk, you said earlier I'm good at a lot of things. I think I'm alright at a lot of things. There is an industry. I do a lot of things, and because I do a lot of things, it is only reasonable that I can't be the greatest at everything, but I ain't shite. Don't get me wrong, I ain't shite, but I can't be the greatest at every single thing.
Okay, you see the issue with industry standard, right? Industry standard is cool. Professional standard, let me change this professional standard, right? When you are a professional, the only people that can see are other professionals.
Yeah.
In that profession. If you was to take a picture or DJ and you complain about a set or you complain about a picture, more than likely when I look at it, I be like, unless it was like literally atrocious, your okay is better than 99% of people that are not in that profession.
But I see what these people like, and I don't like what they like. Some people, you just said something that I think like I don't agree with. I think like a lot of what I do is very forward facing. A lot of people can look at a picture and say, yeah, that's actually shite. A lot of people can hear a DJ set and be like, bitches love to tell you when you mismix me. Love. A stranger will be like, oh yeah, messed up there. And it's like, yeah, I was also present when they messed up. So like, no, why am I going to post something that felt subpar?
Extreme because
It's not.
that's an extreme
Alright.
though. Because there have been times when I have been dancing and I would do a performance, and because I know what the choreography is, I will say that I messed up on this certain part, and somebody watching me will be like, "Oh my goodness, it was such a good performance." Like there was one time that I was doing a solo and I literally fell, and then I just rolled to make it look like if that was what was supposed to happen, and only a handful of people who knew me and knew what it was like, "Oh, that was so good. I like that part where you did the roll." And I was like, I felt so hard. That's crazy that you actually thought that's what I was supposed to be. And I was there thinking that I sucked so bad. And even later on, people were like, "Oh my goodness, I like that, blah, 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 blah." So going with what he just said, like, y'all are making the extreme of, oh, like, Beijing's have to tell you. That's a noticeable thing. Like, with music, people have ears. People hear how music is supposed to music sometimes. Like with people that got rhythm, and the Caribbean, we got rhythm mostly. So if you can hear that and hear, oh, he scratched weird, or it ain't flowing how it was supposed to flow in, or it went a second later than it was supposed to go, you can rhythmically hear it.
That's
so
a big word for
It was a very big word for me. I was trying not to stutter doing it.
Good job. You did a good job. I'm sorry for fretting you.
So, with that, that's a big difference. It was a mistake. So, you like, everybody want to point out the mistake. That's something that somebody could notice. But like, if you went with people who are not this color, they would be like, "Oh my goodness, that was so great."
And some of them gonna be laying short and teeth.
Wouldn't know different. Wouldn't know any different.
I know. I can concede. Not because I just don't feel the arguing point anymore. So I will concede.
Fair.
But
I could win at any cost, you know.
It didn't win or lose, man. We're trying to seek knowledge. What?
You said you concede.
I mean, congrats. You win for sure, B. Girl, don't win. What? I am gonna call it.
A win is a win. You gotta say what wins.
Do we need to talk award of the year?
Yeah. We should do awards for people.
Pardon me?
We should do awards for people. I meant, that was just like...
Oh, that was a mental note. I know.
That was... You see too many tabs. Don't know what's going on internally versus externally.
Do you do the thing where you work on everything all at once? Like, not necessarily that you're actively, you have 57 tabs visible, but you are alternating between the 57 tabs.
Yes and no. So, with my personality, I don't like to see 57 tabs being open. So what I'll do is I'll just have my one tab that I can see, and then I'll put all of the other ones, like, what's it called that?
The groups? I minimize?
Minimize everything else. So they're like in the corner down there where I can't see it. But like they're open, and like when I want to work on something else, like I take it out, and I'll close other things.
I get you.
So I don't have to see that, because I hate to see confusion. But also, part of me also likes to complete something before I do something else. So that I keep procrastinating things until things are done.
You feel a sense of when you complete something, you're like, yay, or you just be like, all right, next thing.
I don't give myself credit for things that I should. A way to explain it. Okay, if my room is dirty and I take these sheets off on my bed, I can't put new sheets on the bed until I sweep them off because it's so dirty.
Kind of me, but fair enough.
Like, it's dirty, so like if I get on my bed,
I get you. It makes sense.
like putting the sheets on will be like
Completing the task.
Yeah, and that's, you didn't complete it, and they're still dirty.
I don't know. For me,
So
your
I was
pauses,
done.
bro.
I was
Oh, there's no way
and then
misinterpret that
another
one.
thought came
Oh.
into my mind, and I just said it out loud. I'll just sleep with those sheets for like weeks.
Huh?
Yeah.
I judging you.
You should. I judge myself.
That, like, I don't say anything on load that I don't judge myself for.
Very fair. I feel like it benefits me in a sense to. Like, what I did recently is I made Google Docs for everything I'm working on, just so I could pop in and, jot down an idea. It doesn't help you.
No.
Have you try it? Maybe try it before saying it doesn't help you. The bit about like not lying. I say like so often. The bit about not lying down isn't something that I thought would work because it sounds so silly.
Not sure the thing will help me, but it won't help me because I won't do it.
But that's the issue there, isn't it?
It's about forming the habit. So, like, for example, you see anything we do, I got a Notion where everything else is got to work on. Legit, from the flights I got planned to everything I got planned throughout the week. This is also why when I miss work, it has messed me up because in Notion, it just be like, you didn't do it, dog, and it's be like, freak.
How do you remember to look?
If you form the
Not
habit.
right there, no,
No,
because
like, so-
I can make great calendars and bullet points and to-do lists and all the trackers, and then when I have to do it, like to remember to do that.
In reality, you
over
don't.
my head.
You don't remember. The thing is, you have to know that's what you're doing. The task here is I want to start using this thing. So I started trying to use Google Tasks. I don't use it every day. I can't find it on my home screen right now, but just to get in the habit of using the app so that I know that I could find what I want to do there, I will have a task like brush my teeth. I am going to brush my teeth, but making the habit of opening the app to say I brushed my teeth is going to make me see, you actually got clean UAC filters today. You're supposed to do that every month. And then it's like, oh shit. No, that's something that I could just not passively, but I could just go and do real quick. It doesn't take like, a long time. If I got 5 minutes, I got 5 minutes to do it. So just like,
So then, how do you deal with the dependency that will happen for it?
okay, how do carpenters deal with using a hammer as a dependent tool? You can't build a house without a hammer. This is just a tool.
I should have built that.
Okay, all right. You can't. Apparently, you can build houses without hammers.
You use a brick instead?
I've used many other things.
Okay.
Creativity.
Okay. Hey, Jesus Christ, man. Wait, I guess you're the one. I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
No, it's got that. It's got that.
Well,
exactly it.
wait, it's called the right hand. Hang on. Right. Yeah, it's going to be form of dependency, but I feel like you should just use it as a tool. Obviously, if your phone dead, you should not be in shambles. You should remember, yeah, my phone dead, but I got braid, I got brush my teeth. Until then, like, charge your phone. It helps a lot with, like, minor things. I'm not in the habit yet. I am in the forming habit process. So I feel try a lot of different things, and that's where it's fail enough. I fail all the time at that. I tried so many different things, and they're gonna continue to try different things. It's just all in effort to be better.
You ever tried
And
DMT? DMT.
I recognize those letters, not in that order.
From the alphabet.
From the what? Apple deck.
Alphabet.
Oh, that's so funny, dog. That is where I know them.
Who would have thought?
My nigga D.
The one technique that I was going to suggest for all of you executive dysfunctioners out there,
That's a slur.
it includes me.
With the hard R. They smashing R's.
The Pomodoro technique, that one where you
Pomodoro?
There's like a type of dog.
yeah, and you need to stop clocking when I pronounce things wrong. Jared is always the person that calls me out when I pronounce things wrong. You were gonna put it on the screen anyway, so it didn't matter if I pronounce it wrong. Just leave me alone.
When else to eat?
I don't need to. I'm so hungry. I'm actually very hungry.
I picked up.
I realized earlier when you get shows up.
I don't know women or anything. This is a unique experience that no one else has been through.
Guys, sometimes I struggle doing a podcast with all males because like they're so difficult sometimes.
They keep calling me out on things and they won't
Granted,
let
if
me.
you like drink
They
water
won't
and
let
eat
me
food.
just I'm just a girl.
God forbid.
You know, God forbid you take care of yourself.
I'm just a girl. Okay? I'm just a girl.
I can make a joke, but don't worry. It's not necessary.
So, the technique that apparently I can't pronounce correctly, and Jared just put it on screen. Again, putting more work for yourself. You work for 25 minutes and you don't work for how much? 5 minutes. And you do that for, is it an hour or 2 hours?
You can set your timer, but usually it's all.
Tell your day.
So you do it in hour blocks. And after the hour, you take a break for I think half an hour. And then you go again. That actually helps me a lot. It doesn't help Jared. That's unfortunate. We're doing it for people to try.
Yeah, I think you should try everything.
Okay, so you really.
Let me finish explaining the damn thing before you tell me why it can't work.
I can cry before I left my head. No, but don't show that.
See, people don't know. Like, y'all just want to talk about things that people don't know. Or there's at least one person watching this who does not know. And they're like...
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to hear.
So, you do it in hour chunks. And the reason why it is so helpful for someone like me is when you're doing the 25 minutes goes by so quickly. You feel sometimes like if, like, oh, I haven't done anything because it's just 25 minutes. Like, there are people who can work for a long period of time and then burn out after 2 hours or 3 hours. Like, you feel like if, oh, I have to keep looking at this thing. But with that set timer, it's like, do as much as you can to the best of your ability in that 25 minutes. And know that at the end of that 25 minutes, I get a break to just breathe, to just not, to like daydream if I want to daydream for 5 minutes, or get water, or do something else. And it doesn't feel as long of a task. So let's say you have to work for 8 hours, you can break it down where you still get breaks in between, and you're not feeling as stressed out about having to sit and focus for 4 hours before you get lunch. Because I feel like when you have to sit down for 4 hours straight, you're more likely to get distracted by things and not get back to the tasks that you were supposed to do, or daydream, or do something else. Obviously, this doesn't work for people who actually function by doing longer spans of time. But for people who struggle with doing tasks, completing tasks in general, like dedicating a small amount of time helps. Like on TikTok, I saw this girl doing a series. I might butcher the name of her series, but it's basically where she completes tasks and sees how long that it actually takes her to do because she was procrastinating said task. So like she will break it down, and let's say she clean out a drawer. So she'll see how long it takes to like clean out, put all the things in a different place, and then how long it takes to actually like put the organizing blah blah blah. So by the end of it, it took an hour and a half when you've been procrastinating it for 5 weeks, and just breaking it down into smaller chunks instead of going, oh, I need to clean the entire room, and then you start with one spot, get distracted, do another spot, and you're just in chaos, and it feels like if you can't use that room until everything is put away, and then you just close the door and forget about it, you're now breaking it down. So breaking down the time until it's manageable for you. Go ahead and disagree now. Go ahead and disagree.
I'm not disagreeing. Like, I use Pomodoro for my day job, but like if I'm editing, for example, Pomodoro is friggin' my flow. So like, it just depends on the type of work.
You said you use Medora?
Pomodoro.
Oh.
For my day job. So like, for my regular job.
It just sounded like a new word.
Nah, that's
Everyone is pronouncing it differently.
But like at the time where I actually go locking, if I use Pomodoro, it will never go back to editing at all.
I do something similar sometimes. It is kind of, it might sound extreme, which is 15 minutes of work, half hour of play, because in the 15 minutes of work, I'm doing a specific task. But again, I didn't say that out loud, I just thought it. When you're bored is when you're most creative. So in that 15 minutes of actual work, I kind of focus on the task. My mind is going to wander. My mind is going to think. So just like jot down little ideas, and then you give yourself the time to play with them, because those things you wrote down in that 15-minute space actual work might actually be beneficial to what you're doing. And it might be something you want to expand on. So even if you're writing an essay and just write for 15 minutes. Just do yourself that. And then for halfway you can do whatever. And you might open TikTok and you might apply. Someone shouldn't open TikTok because someone ain't got no control. But you could apply what you saw, what you thought of, what you read, what you observed, and apply it to what you're actually doing. And one of my favorite things to do, like talking enough here, one of my favorite things to do is apply things that I see on TV or in movies in any video I editing. I could be editing an after movie for a wedding and they will use a shot that I saw in a horror movie just because I like that shot and they want to apply it to something I'm doing. So just treat the world like a pool of knowledge and learn from everything.
So we have 2 techniques that you can use. That doesn't work for me, like doing longer playground work, because I get tired really easily and I would feel, so if I don't have, let's say 2 hours to take a nap, I won't take a nap.
2 hours to take a nap?
Yeah,
that is sleeping.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I am very certain I read that a nap should be 9 minutes if you want it to be effective. 9.
Can you feel the judgment?
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you, B. If you want to be a lay down girly, be a lay down girly.
I am a lay down girly.
Okay.
With my illnesses, I get tired super fast. And every day, most days, I need to take a nap. And that nap usually lasts 2 hours.
It's alright if you could want sleep, you know. If you want sleep, you can sleep, dog. No, I tell you don't sleep.
It don't last more than 2 hours?
2 hours is sleeping. I don't know how 2 hours is a nap.
That's how it's function. It's go a long period of time, 2 hour nap, and then it's function.
How many hours of sleep do you think you got a day?
A lot.
I'm not gonna judge you.
They will.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not putting that out there. A lot. I sleep a lot. I'm probably more asleep than I'm awake most of the time.
Down, girl.
I'm working on it.
You be dreaming.
Yeah. I have lots of dreams.
I mean,
So,
one of the last black people that had a dream, boy. Really?
Yeah, we haven't had a dream since. There's no black person had a dream since what, 1960.
Been a problem, boy.
so
Got that shit up.
therefore, every single time I have, so let's say I have an activity to do, I'm that person that if I have something to do at 3 o'clock in the morning is me stressing about that thing that I have to do at 3 o'clock. So if I can't get a nap from, let's say like 11:30 to 1:30, so that I can then get ready and have enough time to get to the place and blah blah blah.
This thing should just got sent an email, you know.
It's probably the same, or like a phone call. Yeah, I am that person. So if I don't have that time, let's say I had to go in the morning, I had an appointment, and I get back at 11:30. I don't have that 2 hours. So then I'm like, I really would like a nap. Maybe I could try to sleep for that 45 minutes instead of a 2 hour nap. But then I know that I know wake up kind of weird. You know, like that wake up where it don't feel like if you had a nap, but like your body kind of hurts.
That is why 9 minutes is the optimal amount of nap. Just
9
saying
minutes is
this
me daydreaming.
quietly into the microphone.
9 minutes is
For
me
those who
daydreaming.
need to hear.
I can daydream for 9 minutes and not feel rested.
Cha, not me. Couldn't be me. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. People always tell me that I shouldn't be sleeping as much as I do, but like if I don't,
You
my
mentioned
body
illness
just,
though, so it's like it's whatever.
my body just doesn't function
Yeah, babe,
that
you gotta know your body more than anything else. This is just, get off and teasing.
So if the blocks are like half an hour, what will happen is I will start to stress out about what I do in that half an
Mhm.
hour, and then I'll be like, oh god, and then I waste the half an hour, and be too stressed, and then do the 15 minutes and be like, oh gosh, I got a half an hour to think about. That's how my brain will work. No creativity is gonna happen because I'm just gonna be panicking.
That's very fair, and I'm glad that we all distinguish the differences, because for me, it's just like it's difficult to do a 15-minute task. That sounds dumb. That sounds like I ain't gonna start attention span. But it's just like while I'm doing something monotonous, my brain is actively saying, "Yo, remember thinking, B? And it's like sometimes they would just be like, yo, that's actually a very good idea. You just thought how brain big itself. It doesn't mean I should immediately do it though. I gotta try to exercise a little discipline. And it kind of builds that excitement to be like, yo, just 10 more minutes and then you could XYZ. And XYZ doesn't have to be turn on Final Fantasy. XYZ could be open Premiere and start a video. There is a video idea that I have that my friend Shamika been cussing me for days. That idea just came from one of the same breaks. And I am not talking, but I really want to talk about it because I think it's going to be incredible, but I ain't started on it yet, so just in case.
So guys, you could try either mine or his.
Or just cry. I actually think that crashing out, like proper crashing out, not like you hold back yourself out, you think like give up and then see what you would do wrong and rebuild. I feel like that's helped so much in life.
So when you said crash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what my brain thought of. Like for my thesis, I had a full meltdown on the ground, crying, snot and tears, thinking that I was gonna fail and I was never going to survive. And then I got up after like a good half an hour, just crashing out, and then I did it.
But that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. I think sometimes you just need to give up. Like sometimes you actually need a fresh start, and like it's very scary. I being so real right now. It's very scary. Like reaching that point where you're like, yo, there's actually nothing I could do. This is actual factual failure. You just need a. I remember like 2 months before the pandemic, I had a job. in December 2019, I wasn't working.
Worked out for you.
Did it? Because I was what? I did not have a job, man. So I still had a job in pandemic.
A lot of people lost theirs in the pandemic, so you just.
I had a head start in boredom, in poverty.
Yeah.
No, I think
Buddies.
it helped me find different avenues, and I think like my life would not be the same.
Things opened up.
Right, because I let myself.
No, I mean because of COVID.
Oh my, sorry, Penny. Yeah, that was hard, me.
Despite people, no, domestic violence is not okay.
That was not. It's funny to hear you. Whoa. You walk into any doors recently? That's not funny, Grace. I'm sorry.
It's not funny because I actually do walk into things all the time. Anyways.
Hello. That's you. That little black.
I meant literally.
Hey, yo! Whoa! I said Paul right in the kisser. I don't have any more jokes. I'm sorry.
This is me every single week anyway.
I fix up.
So, jar your shoes are like socks. I wanted to say that this entire time.
That was the little
I
point.
know that's the style. I don't like it.
You nervous? Because I don't know where you will bring them up.
No, my brain is just doing that.
It's probably because you didn't get beat when you get home.
No.
Please!
I
That's
don't
bear jumping.
get
That's
beaten,
Kofi should
guys.
shut up. Yeah.
Domestic violence is not
It is.
funny.
It's not.
And I wanted to say.
Wait a minute,
that
oh my god. Let's start for real.
I put it on TikTok. I think just get everybody to be like, cancel Kofi.
Cancel me from what?
Cancel DJ the Doctor.
You could go on. I know who he is. Everybody plays with must 5 followers and you can talk about cancel me. Well, I ain't even got as much as Jesus. Yeah, 12.
You know, if I have a thought in my head for too long, I have to say hello. Because I can see them.
Yeah, nah, honestly, I've been looking and there's like, yo, this time they're like red. I don't think I described that right properly. Red. Red. D-U-H.
Whether I like it or not doesn't matter. I just said that. He doesn't take any offense to whether I like it or not.
It's
It's
just-
bugging me.
It's bright and it's very, it looks like he's an elf. Not elf, I got the mythical character wrong. But he's definitely going on a quest. And that's his footwear.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine him in like a leather color with like a little curly thing here at the back.
I want a cowboy?
No, not a cowboy, B. Use a
Let me go through all Hobbit.
Elves have the curl at the front.
Is it elf? It could be elf.
Yeah. It's elf.
Hey, this has nothing to do with topic. My bad.
Well, blame Balenciaga. And after them bring out them shoes that look like socks, everybody wanted to do it.
I don't like most high fashion.
I think
Me either. I think it looks very.
I don't like usual high fashion, but however, these are unbelievably comfortable.
Mm.
I don't doubt it.
I don't know
because
now.
they're
They look
soft.
comfortable, right? It look like you're wearing socks.
You know who does do that too? Crocs.
Yeah, I used to be a croc
Garbage.
hater. I used to be a huge croc hater. And that all changed until a day I was at a line and a pair of crocs was like door and I was going to go for sign and I put my foot in them and I was like, yo.
Guys wear Birkenstocks.
Anyway,
They're
so
good for your feet.
this particular charm is a plantain with in a heart shape. This is from Barbadianista. Except you can't have these. No one can have these yet.
I'll say Barbados merch 24/7.
No one can have this yet. This is a literal exclusive. If I don't like Birkenstocks, they're probably comfortable, but you don't have the They're not comfortable.
They don't start out comfortable, then they get comfortable.
So you gonna work
When they're spending money on shoes when they got working,
It's an orthopedic shoe.
you gotta load this loser. Oh my god.
Nerd.
You gotta care about your
then-
posture.
That when they're worked into your feet, anybody else who puts them on will be uncomfortable.
The my grand was famous for them.
I love a Birkenstock.
Welcome back, grand.
Those are literally the only shoes I wear. I've been a Birkenstock girly forever.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like with this new job. I gotta like put on shoes, and I really find like a good
Well,
all day
Birkenstocks
long shoe.
always look good for any occasion.
As a nigga, who office I going in with them on?
Just get one.
Imagine me.
They
Imagine.
have different styles.
Is there
for
any
males.
enclosed?
Yeah,
Oh, that us.
yeah.
I ain't getting none, but like it's nice to
Yes.
know.
You can trade on Stacey. I don't know if this conform you to.
When I get a nice pair of Skechers slip-ons, when they got me real tired. When I get the worst looking shoe in life and I put it for my foot and I feel good. I good. Steve Madden.
Stacey,
Thank you.
Adam.
Oh, I saw you said.
So much. We're just
I
gonna.
know how Steve Madden
head
like.
over here.
Why would you do that?
You're just manhandling.
I was
Auntie.
fidgeting.
Yeah,
Who's the
with
Australian
the
kid?
mascot. That he was squeezing.
I was not squeezing. I was making the legs touch. All right. He was clapping. We was having a big vibe.
Yo.
I don't believe you know that away from me for true. That is crazy.
The octopus clapping is crazy.
You know how low that gotta be?
Especially when he shot the color.
Bloops. I feel like I derailed this thing and I'm very sorry.
This is not the worst, dog. Nothing has ever.
But I have a standard, remember?
Dog, I will live on this hill. The most chaotic episode is with she, Charlena, and Courtney.
Well, I made it chaotic.
Cause they're all best friends,
Mm.
which means
Oh, that was a good save. I thought you were gonna say they're all women.
To be fair, she did complain earlier about all men, so I actually did think it was a women thing. But then I wanted your
Just
opinion.
'cause it's this chaotic, but like we all talk all over each other,
Mm.
and
um,
the conversation never stays where it's supposed to stay.
Right. I don't think that this is that chaotic. I just think that's happening. The conversation is not where it's supposed to be. And I am apologizing for that.
I mean, it never. At most of these podcast episodes never end up where it was.
I guess an hour of one topic is very boring, but I don't know what the topic is right now.
we have no descended
I feel like we hanging out.
Japanese.
Our last episode was supposed to be what? Social media? Didn't happen. Really didn't happen.
So what aspects of social media?
About social media versus real life.
Reality.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's such a lovely
That's
topic.
not what we talked about.
They talk about everything under the sun, and the butt joke ended up becoming social media versus reality. Every time a joke pop up, social media versus reality.
But we could talk about it, no? I mean, I kind of don't want to make it. I don't want to feel like I waste my time.
We talked about executive functioning
For like
for
3
what?
seconds, I feel.
Nah, no. That was
That was longer?
30 minutes.
A
Oh.
good 40 minutes.
Okay. No, y'all being nice guests and time flying. Good dear. What a lovely guest.
You just said.
I just realized I said guest and not host.
Yeah.
This
I just realized I said guest and not
How much
host.
you are on the doctor show.
because like, think about it. You're hosting hot after dark. He's one of the hosts on, and you know.
Are you custom?
Talk about I am.
Oh, I do Zeitgeist season 2. Zeitgeist is coming out this year. That's a pop culture recap show. Not really recap, but it's a pop culture show. I'll be doing the music segments. That was supposed to be said earlier. I too forgot that I was doing that, and I'm doing it soon, like next month.
I know it's a podcast.
Pardon me?
I know it's a podcast.
Yeah.
What do you talk about in your podcast?
INO, it stands for information, knowledge, and observation. We are aware that our knowledge doesn't start with an N, but also it's not that I know nothing. We're an edutainment podcast where we talk about everything that we feel like learning about, and sometimes we just talk. I would argue it used to be Island's leading podcast in terms of engagement. I will fight anybody on that.
It really was at one point. Like there was memes about episodes. I think.
Yeah.
And soon we will pass you.
Yeah. We started about this year too, but I don't know if I said that earlier.
No one cares because they're coming.
I'm plugging myself, woman.
Because they're coming here and they're like, oh, we just need to talk. We don't want to know what I know anymore.
That's fair. Actually, I will encourage anybody to watch your podcast. I did like what I did watch. Though you did try to cut my ass for not watching everything, which is wild. But I know you go ahead giving out hours.
The Spoon Theory podcast was a popular episode.
The
Spoon Theory episode was a popular episode.
didn't see it. But I saw your podcast from going on your YouTube. It's not like I was sent, this was a good episode.
I used to look at that and I was like, oh, a lot of people watch.
That's how you consume content. Maybe we should have this social media conversation. Because do you like things that you...
My company better?
No. That sounds bad. I want your company to be better. I don't want the responsibility.
That's what I exist for.
Do you like things that you see on social media? Like if you see a post, you're going to like it.
I'm asking these questions is
don't worry.
because... I'm going to answer your question in a second. It's because you so badly, inside of your soul, want to give advice that your brain just keeps going, sprinkle. Like, I will ask you these questions. I want curiosity and figure out, like, why do you suck so much? Why, blah, blah, blah.
I hate when, like, my actions are misinterpreted to that degree. Because I think that's just who I am as a person.
Right.
That's not me giving you advice. That's just me being me. I'm sorry that you think I'm trying to teach you.
But you are.
But remember earlier when they said you could learn from anything?
Naturally who you are, and that's a good thing.
Is
I me and you are the same thing with that. I am that sort of
And that's why people gravitate to you guys, and y'all are like, ooh, what can I learn from y'all? Because y'all are so charismatic, and y'all talk about things, and you ask me questions about my passions. It's like, oh, you're interested in talking to me and helping me? That's so nice. That's because people are awful, and we're taking any sort of niceness that happens in this world.
Yeah, they're definitely charismatic ones there. Go ahead.
I don't think I'm charismatic. I don't think I'm good at controlling the crowd.
Do I see pictures and just like it because a lot of people like it? No.
Oh, so we're not going to talk about charisma. Okay, cool.
Okay. So fun fact about me.
No, I'm actually just going to
I can have 3 conversations at one time.
If we can do that, we got a lot of different apps. I could do that on Instagram one talk, WhatsApp one talk. You can't be in front of me ignoring one thing and then replaying something else.
My brain, that's my brain works.
Oh, okay.
Like, I can go back after 20 minutes and answer something that you asked me before.
Well, that's how your brain works. My brain does not work.
Sorry.
My brain does not work.
That's
So we need to...
Charisma.
Oh, I was just going to say that I don't think that I'm charismatic.
See, you just did it.
What?
Don't
Remember?
know.
I think that I am charming.
I proved him wrong. Ha 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 ha.
Oh. Okay. I was just going to say, I think people mix up charisma and charming. Charisma is more like come out in the crowd, which I can't really do. I think I just sometimes funny at people like that.
You literally.
Fully.
I could
You can catch it.
I could perform in front of a crowd. I cannot command. Sir Frat is charismatic. He can command a crowd. Man like Ghana charismatic. I could make a crowd laugh probably. Like when I can dance, I've been playing good music, but I don't really have the ability to like make everybody. If I tell a girl you're parking in the ocean, she's probably not going to.
You know who else? A good way to put it is that. So we wouldn't know what Slot Songs. Slot Songs was he and
Kurt.
Kurt charismatic.
Kurt charismatic.
Kurt could get anybody to do nearly anything.
I think you don't believe in yourself.
Okay, Oscar the Grouch. Okay, Sesame Street character.
Zoe.
I believe in myself.
Because okay, so our Anime Con episode, what y'all didn't see is at the end we played a game led by DJ the Doctor. And
Who's he?
Kofi got us to exercise by telling us that it was a game.
But I'm not charisma.
No, here's the thing. Here's why it's not
Got us
charisma.
all to
I didn't
go.
plan that. That y'all just kept picking the exercise games. That just worked out that way.
There were other ones that were
Yes.
exercise.
I don't know why y'all was y'all kept stopping the roulette on
Yeah, so games.
roulette.
He's spinning you.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all kept stopping it on exercise games. That was all at y'all. It's not like I said, I can get these nerds to squat. No, y'all just did that on your own accord.
Oh,
That was not my plan.
okay.
Alright, cool. Anyway, so yeah, you just like things on social media? You don't, you said. Why not?
You said if I like things that a lot of people like.
No, I more meant, sorry, that wasn't really a question I'm asking. I'm like, you see a post, it made you not laugh, but you liking it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I found out that a lot of people don't do that because they're afraid of being perceived what they like.
That's not why it's like it. I like it because I want you to
Feel-
sell in life.
Jesus Christ.
Feel a little sparkling inside that you get.
Cheese on bread. I hate supporting a little small creator doing a little shindig.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's like.
There are people that don't understand that. There are people that think if you're doing that, and if it's a woman you flirting with, and they just can't figure out how the France like could be flirting.
I mean,
It's a whore. I was gonna be a whore. I feel like multiple, but if
but
you're
there
consistently
are
funny.
whores that do it.
But I don't think the whores are stopping at likes. I don't think.
They're not stopping at least.
Right. So then the actual catalyst here isn't.
How do you
I
know
like-
that this person is a whore though? Are they whores are creative and manipulative, and they will delete every last message, and all you will see are the likes.
You okay?
I'm just saying.
Sounds real.
No, because my significant other doesn't have social media and sends me all of his videos and sometimes his group chat, but he doesn't like things.
I'm more my friend that he passed, but would it upset you if you was to see him like liking a local model?
Multiple times.
What is multiple times? It's like a photo
If
is
you
going
sat down for an hour and you went through her entire page,
that is different to
and
me.
that's what they do though.
Yeah, for sure.
There are literal men
that
who will
is
literally
like
sit on
yeah,
their phone and just go
like just scroll straight profile kind of
like,
thing.
why?
That is kind of
That mean that you
a lot.
sit out there and you went to her profile and you were literally just looking at everything. Like, see the one picture and go on with business.
Right. It's very interesting to hear you think that is normal, because I feel like a lot of women don't. And then like that's just to play back in the social media versus. But you don't know if you go through someone's profile, and you see that I like all their pictures. You don't know when they like them.
Exactly.
And that's yeah. I think that's the issue that smaller creators then would find, because people not gonna like certain things, just like you say.
Because people just don't even want to know that you like them. So people know, like, somebody posts something and you apprehensive to get this picture, like, because you don't want this person to think you flirting with them. That's just how are we here?
Yeah, but no, especially as guys, we all know why we feel defensive about that, because
A woman approach you,
Yeah.
why you like this picture? And it's like,
yeah, and then you woman gonna be like, you got a whole argument about it, even though you know it's just like, yeah, this person doing good work or whatever. But it don't matter, because they're just seeing it as an act between a man and a woman, and not the actual what happening
for sure.
for it. And then it just becomes,
It also
again,
makes
just
me-
never quit. So a lot of men don't, a lot of people in general just don't like something, especially when it versus the opposite sex.
And it also makes me like wonder, like, what really going on that I know about. like this is a viable like that would work for you. Like that can work for you. If it's flirting with it, that's going to work on you.
Question. You like multiple of this person's picture. How are they so interesting to you that multiple of their things are interesting to you?
As a DJ, right, I can just use, for example, Faith Calendar. I can probably let anything Faith Calendar post. However, Faith Calendar's legs are also looking the way they look, and they're usually out. It doesn't mean that I'm thirsting after Faith. Faith is the artist, me and Faith cool personally. Okay. She posts saying, like, I probably ain't gonna necessarily listen to it. I can like it, I just move on.
Exactly. So that's where the insecurity lies. The fact that we know, or a female will know that you like that certain aspect of that person, and I don't have that.
But I'm not liking it because that is existing.
No one said that. No one said that. No one said that.
In other words,
That's what.
But surely we
No,
can acknowledge.
there's no logic.
No, the problem is deeper than just the like.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Then let me discuss the deeper problem.
No,
No, they want to.
I have feelings.
This isn't even where I want this conversation to go, but I don't know how we get here, but
And you're supposed to know why you're upset.
And
you know, Sister Olo, as a
That's
wait.
how all girls feel.
All right, but
but okay.
how you feel
I'm speaking
should
as
not be how
devil's
you
advocate
act.
right now. So I'm gonna take all these lashes just because I'm playing.
I didn't want to talk about
devil's
man
advocate
versus
right
woman.
now.
That's the one thing I didn't want to talk about on this podcast.
Literally, that's how a lot of those females who are upset about those
Women.
things. Can I say females?
Mm-mm. You would say males instead of men?
Yeah.
Would you? Mm.
That's just all it's all.
The males? Is it the men?
That's just all it's all.
Fair enough. I believe
These
you.
women. That's what's going on in their head. It's you like that about her. I don't have that. Clearly, that's what you like. So you can't like me. You just telling me bare lies.
I don't know if that's the case. I think it's like they think that it looks thirsty.
No, I telling you.
I can believe you because you're a woman, but no other reason.
Okay, so if you, like I said, if you're doing it
I can see
all
back
at
please.
one time,
The octopus.
if you're doing it all at
Thank
one
you.
time, then it's just thirsty.
For sure.
If you going in the person DMs and you messaging them,
Hey.
that's when they see it
How you-
as thirsty.
Heart emoji.
However, if it's like a consistent thing of, like how you said, for Faith, just posting music, like you don't even listen to it, you just like it.
Yeah, but that don't mix it up. I mean, she got videos that she put mention she on a little studio. I'm not gonna watch every video.
It just be.
Don't say that I don't listen to girl music. Don't say so. That's a very, very, very different sentence. Those are very different sentences.
Copy and paste what Kofi said, and then like,
Please do. Next, no here. Oh, Kofi, don't place local
In
artists.
in that sense, that's when it will go deeper and be like, no, that's what you like that. You like her legs. You like how she looks. You like how she sounds. You like all these things about her, and it will fester and be like, I don't have that. So clearly, there has to be something wrong with me. You're lying to me. You're just telling me that because some men do that.
For sure.
So it's just gaslight you into thinking things, and then past traumas of relationships is just fuel into new ones. So even if you aren't like that, you just like a singular picture. That person has already experienced their friend, mother, or themselves going through that thing. So it's not about the like. It's not about what you actually think. Y'all, sometimes people have emptiness going on inside of their head and action that they do, and it will still be perceived by somebody as something else just because of their thoughts and feelings.
Then let me address the issue at hand. But again, I really don't want to
People can't say
have a
that.
man versus woman conversation.
It's not just a man versus woman thing. That the likes thing, that's a universal thing. They're like.
I wish we could use a like as it. Huh?
Relationship.
Oh.
They still have those issues.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want a relationship. I didn't want to talk on relationship stuff.
But I think what is the issue in what you're saying is people don't like to talk about their feelings. You don't know what you're feeling, and you don't know how to express what you're feeling.
Right.
And therefore, it's just gonna come out. So anger iceberg. Insert here. Anger is just you talk. Just on the
Top of the
surface, there are a
iceberg.
lot of under the surface emotions, and when you see that light, you get angry because you're feeling hurt, because you're feeling unheard, because you're feeling all these things, and you don't know how to say that. So instead of actually talking about those things, you're just gonna be like, "So you like that girl? You always like full DMs. You always talking about things. Da 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 da."
You supposed to be on that cruise, huh? That girl was on the cruise, right? That you was DJing on, right? Buddy. I know.
Oh, he was on your radio.
And
Somebody hear you.
God forbid on that cruise, that girl on that cruise. God forbid that girl on that cruise.
Oh, that's where you went. Huh?
Be able to tell you a different story. You could have never seen that girl on that cruise, but if I see that girl was taking pictures on that same cruise, so that's what you was there doing.
But as you said,
so
is
you
it?
was there with the next woman.
But as
and you was up in my face telling me lies, and you was there with the next woman. You feel I stupid. I see all their pictures, and you telling me that you was in there with that woman. That's what your friends would say. All your friends would tell lies for you. Blah 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 blah.
You done freaking out though?
And then that makes us mad.
I just feel like, as you said, like deal with the. Try to figure out, alright, why you feel like this? Like this makes sense. Like reason with yourself. I think everybody should be able to gain some some sense of self-awareness, so they could be able to say, well, look, yeah, this is how I feel. This ain't really making any sense. Let me just look back a bit at the actual scenario. Oh, cool. I feel this way because I kind of feel like he might not be as attracted to me because he hasn't been XYZ. Deal with that.
You're also not a manipulator.
You don't know me.
Sorry. That's literally why I was finishing that sentence. I'm speaking that into being. I'm gonna say you're not a manipulator or a gaslighter.
I don't think I am.
For
right,
you want to talk about feelings, but manipulators and gaslighters will gaslight you into thinking that you're crazy. They don't want to talk about your feelings. They don't want to hear your feelings. They want you to feel like you're making that up. That didn't happen.
Mm. So, anyways, I'm not changing the subject or anything, but what do you think about the performative narrative? The performative side of social media. He said changing the subject.
I think that social media is a dangerous thing.
You got a podcast?
Yeah. And I'm very cautious with it.
Mm.
In my thoughts, like the fact that we got to 100 subscribers, you would think that I would be like
177. I was talking to myself, sorry.
You would think that I would be like, oh my goodness, I can't wait till I'm at like 1 million subscribers. That's not my personality. To me, then 1 million people are watching me, and I'm gonna get a bunch of haters, and they're gonna be people who are racist and tell me things and judge me and da 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 da. That's where my brain goes. My brain doesn't go to, oh, I want every single person under the sun to see me, and like you know how people like want the success of growth and stuff. I'm usually very cautious. I'm like, if I say this sentence, then people will judge. I think I overthink too much.
Mm.
I think some people just mistake success and celebrityness.